Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. Introducing your host from New York, here is Sam Roberts.
We're at Terminal 5 for the Ring of Honor show, and Matt Sydal is here. Matt, what's the haps?
Oh, man, we're loving it. It's a beautiful day in New York.
It is.
Beautiful day for a wrestling show.
It is a beautiful day for a wrestling show, and I feel like this is a long time coming because I noticed you quite some time ago as a notsam Instagram follower, and I was honored.
What can I say? I mean, I'm a fan of yours. It's not, is it a crime? It's, we share a lot of the same viewpoints. We enjoy a lot of the same content.
Right.
Yeah, we got a lot in common. It didn't take Tinder to get us together. It just took the internet.
Sometimes just any social media will do. Because you don't need Tinder. So what's life been like for you getting to do this again? Like, what's this second run being Matt Sydal been like?
Well, I'd say it's pretty incredible so far.
Yeah.
I like how you said it like, when I first came back to wrestling after my motorcycle accident, which was post my WWE, well, I didn't get to come back in WWE because I was never healthy. And then when I got released, when all these matches began, I fell back in love with wrestling, and I was like, this is my second rookie year. And I'm like, thank God I spent all these years working so hard and getting, like, I've just throughout the years gotten to work with so many smart people. I feel like I'm just now getting the chance to apply the accumulation of all these years of all the work I've done.
So you mean like not only... So all your indie experience prior, and then the guys you got to work with in WWE to come out of that and be able to be like, okay, now I can kind of use all this experience.
Yeah, I started in professional wrestling at 17. I was wrestling in my backyard at 15. I have done nothing but getting expertise in this industry from the day I started. Let's just call it an obsession, a passion, however you want to describe it.
Yeah.
But I really feel like my knowledge as a whole of the wrestling industry, top to bottom, from the way the rings get built. I mean, I'm the guy who double checks the way the ring gets set up. I make sure they tape the boards down.
Yeah.
I'm also in the back yelling at guys about their matches. I'm also in the back yelling at myself about my matches. I mean, I really feel like I'm contributing to this business, and I'm creating content that I love and I'm really proud of.
So how do you deal with people who don't have the same attitude? Like, I get that, because I'm the same way about the things I'm into. Like, you just get obsessive and you see how everything can be good, and you want to just push everybody in the direction to be good. But there are a lot of people who don't want somebody telling them that, right? Like, I'd assume that when you're in the back being like, no, this is the way you should be doing it, there are some guys, you don't have to name names, that don't want that.
Well, you see, here's the problem is that I'm right. So it doesn't matter. It's like, you can believe anything, but the facts are the facts.
Right.
I like to think I have a nice way of doing it, because what I'm doing is not for personal self-interest. It's really more about making sure that everybody gets their money's worth.
Right.
When these people, I know how much it costs to go to a show. It's just not easy to get a Friday night or a Saturday night to come to the show. So I'm just making sure that what we do here is of the highest level and the highest caliber. And I've operated on the very highest of levels, and I've been around people who operate at the highest levels, and I want to bring that and let these guys know that they're capable of that also. Some of these guys kind of sell themselves short, kind of doing the same thing that I thought I did to myself. Sold myself short. You said, I'm good, but I'm not one of the best. But I look around this locker room, there's guys who say they're good, but they are the best. And in addition to the egos, we also have false humility, and they're both equally dangerous. And so we just torture and make fun of both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
And that kind of balances everybody out.
Right, but they never get to exactly where they should be mentally.
But it takes time, and sometimes you have to hear it from different sources, or something Ricky Steamboat told me 9 years ago. He reminded me of it about a month ago in England, and I was like, what? I've been waiting to hear that.
What was it?
He was just talking about how you're moving in the ring at certain parts of the match, and what I need to do to get to pull a connection out of the crowd. And he was telling that to the guy that I wrestled, and I was like, man, I needed this reminder, because as close as you work with people, it's like you don't get it till your brain's ready to hear it, and then the key fits in the hole and you can turn the key.
And isn't it weird too, like, when you realize, because when you're getting the experience, right, you don't know what's happening until you get to the point, like you said, after you left WWE and you started this again, when you're like, oh, like all the experience I've had, now lends me to be able to do this. Like, you thought you knew something before, and then you just come to terms with the fact that, like, no, you didn't know what you thought you knew before because you know it now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that wasn't really for me. If anything, I had cases of low self-esteem where I still was like, I can just never figure this out. Because, I mean, wrestling is just so intricate and the possibilities are infinite.
Yeah.
And so I get lost in the, like, I mean, you end up putting, okay, so a singles match, not bad. Now you do a tag. Now you got a 4-man tag. Now you've got, like, a 10-man tag. And it's just all these different, like, challenges that get thrown at us. Like, for example, for tonight, on paper, I was wrestling Gato.
Yes.
A legend from Japan.
Yes.
And as the week happened, as we sold out Detroit on a Monday night, it's ridiculous.
Amazing.
I'm telling you, I will continue to brag about that because I just love it that people come out and watch wrestling any day of the week.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And so what happens is all of a sudden the card gets shuffled around and I end up wrestling a guy like Tanahashi today. But I can't, like, you can't in your head have had a bunch of ideas about, you're all right, man, it's okay. You know, like, this is exactly what I'm getting at. You can never, it's all
just roll with
unpredictable.
it, yeah.
And wrestling is inherently unpredictable. So when you walk into the ring, you might think you know what's going to happen, but you have no idea until it's going down in the heat of the moment, in that moment where there's, like, no time for thinking. It's just, like, your natural reactions. And, I mean...
When did you become comfortable with that idea? Because in the beginning, I'm sure you want to plan everything, and you want to do whatever you can to make sure it's going to go right. And really, with experience, you realize that the more you try to force it into being what you think is right, the more lost you get, right?
Yeah, I think the trouble I found the most was trying to do things other people's way.
Right.
Because I just didn't, while I could do it, I just didn't really understand, like, so being able to do it myself and make my own mistakes. Like, if I go out there and I screw up, it's like, well, these were my ideas. I tried. I went for it. We screwed up. Like, I mean, I'm always like, I think people really undervalue the amount of risk wrestlers take every night. Literally, we are talking lives on the line. Lives on the line. I mean, everybody from, like, the big guys are flipping head over heels just like me. You know, we're picking each other up, dropping each other on our heads. I saw this stuff is very high-level, crazy wrestling, and it's something that you have to see live to really get. I kind of forgot where we were going with the question, but
it's all right. It's very, very dangerous.
I think I was getting at is dangerous. Something about I think people just don't understand, like, the risk, because obviously we're putting on a show for these people, and we want to give them the best show possible, and we're working on that. But we can't go out there and we have we have probably less of an idea of what's going to happen than the people in the crowd. They'll say, "Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, I knew that was going to happen." We didn't know it was going to happen. You should have let us know. It was a spontaneous spur of the moment. But what we do is, like, in these moments where you might just make eye contact with the guy across the ring, and you just make eye contact, and then you just start running at him, and you just got to hope he's going to either stay in the pocket, because if he fades away on you, you know what I mean? And we're just talking just a look, and you're going to go run and dive out of the ring, head over heels on some guy I mean, there's paths there, but it's also just the ground. Last March, I, like, took a bad fall and almost broke both my wrists. It's miserable. But, I mean, like, we do crazy stuff like this every single day, night after night after night after night. And, I mean, that's
I was having that conversation with somebody recently that, like, that's one area where I don't think people quite understand how much skill is involved in pro wrestling, is the level of improv and communication that you have to have. Like you said, you have this moment in your mind where you're going to run at this dude, and this dude is just responsible for being like, okay, I see that look in his eyes. I know what he's doing. I have to be ready for whatever it is that he's about to do.
Yep, and you have to be fully assuming the risk of flipping and just landing on the cement, which I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Guys just, boom, cracking their heads open on this. I mean, this is just a mad, mad world, and the more you get into it and the more you know about it, the more fascinating it becomes.
Right.
Because there's the reality of it all, there's the absurdity of it all, and there's that, like, the real absurdity, and then, like, just the fun stuff, and then there's, like, the stuff where guys' heads are split open, and there's guys being hurt pretending they're not hurt, guys hurt pretending they are, like, it. That's the beauty of it, is it's like the early days of the internet. You never knew what was true, and you could never really figure it out because you were going from one Angel Fire site to the GeoCity site, and you couldn't confirm the facts. But all you could do is, like, take your eyes and just go with that. And you know, there's just wrestling, just so much fun to be at.
So, like, when you've obviously been a wrestling fan all your life.
Yeah.
Now, were you obsessive about it as a kid?
So to say I'm a wrestling fan my whole life, as kids we loved to play the Steiner Brothers, but we didn't really have cable. So when wrestling started to get popular again in, end of the 90s, early 2000s, we would have to go to friends' houses to watch Raw. And I became, we actually went and rented all the VHSs from the local Blockbuster and the local grocery store. Went and got all the VHSs, and that's kind of my introduction to WWE or WWF stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Is watching the pay-per-views on rented
watched
videos.
all old Royal Rumbles. So I loved all the jobber characters that would be in the Royal Rumbles because to me they were all the exact same. I never watched any weekly programming or anything like that.
You're like, what happened to Saba Simba?
Yeah. And then, and from there, all I wanted to do was go in the back. I just wanted to go wrestle my friends. I liked watching it, but I just wanted to do it. And then we got...
that's interesting. So you were never you wouldn't say you were obsessed with watching it as much as you've always just been obsessed with doing it.
Yeah, and when I became more obsessed with watching it is when I started doing it in my backyard and I was trying to VHS record in slow motion how a Tilt World Headsets just happened. Because it just happened so fast, and I mean, we're talking, you couldn't get on YouTube to check it out in high quality.
Right.
And then I eventually found out about tape trading and started getting tapes from Japan and all the craziest death matches you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I've seen, and I've lived through a lot of these death matches back in my early days of wrestling. When I started, I was just a 17-year-old kid in the middle of Missouri in the death match days. It was just I would go out there, wrestle, come to the back, and then the next match would go out there, smash light tubes on a guy. The next match was a Caribbean barbed wire, or Caribbean spider net barbed wire death match, which is just a giant net of barbed wire. These are the things that got me into wrestling.
We probably traded tapes at some point because I had just this giant tape trading website and literally still at my parents' house thousands of VHS tapes, and it was all the deathmatch stuff and all the...
I wish I was a collector. That's this thing, for me, I hardly remember my matches. I don't do a lot of collecting or, I have, my backyard wrestling tapes basically are all vanished. There's a few hanging around or, some clips here and there. My Angel Fire, my backyard wrestling Angel Fire website does still exist. I think there's some gifs on it of me doing a swanton.
Yeah.
But it's just, man, when you think about going from tape trading to Instagram, I mean, that covers a lot of time, but that covers a lot of life too. And so while I've grown up in wrestling, I sort of feel I was not in the real world when I was in this wrestling world for so long. And then coming out of WWE, I got to be a real human again. And I feel getting to round out myself because I wasn't just on the grind, barely making, all I was trying to do was figure out how I'm getting to the next town, how I'm going to stay awake long enough to check into my hotel, to wake up early enough to go to the gym, to get to Raw, to do these things. I always felt like I was playing catch up.
Sure.
And now I've been able to slow time down a little bit, hit the slow motion button. And
which, by the way, is moving still at a pretty good pace. Your slow motion is people's just life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the redlining effect that I was having, and to realize how much joy I can take in not work. I mean, my whole life, everybody told me, you got to work harder. If you want to achieve stuff, work harder. It's way more about working smarter, I found. And just putting your nose down and just grinding it out is not always the smartest thing. Sometimes it's better to actually pause, step back, and see things from a different perspective, a less myopic view of things, because when you're in the thick of it, we were talking about earlier, when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the match, you can't see the outside perspective, so it's easy to come to the back and tell these guys how their match could be better, or I can look back and see a squandered opportunity after squandered opportunity, but the point is, by realizing it helps me kind of get over it, rather than it being this stuck up on lost opportunity or whatever, knowing that I should be a millionaire right now. I should be sitting in front of you with regardless of not whether I'd wear a suit or not, be able to afford the sweetest Italian Claudio Castagnoli kind of suit we're talking about. But you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, and I'm not I don't get hung up on it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I sort of think I should be, but I really am. I'm loving what I'm doing now, and I never got first of all, I never got into wrestling thinking I would make any money.
Can you bring that up a little? The mic?
Yeah, I never got into wrestling. Hey, look down here. I've been gotten with that before. No, but I never got into wrestling to make a buck. I just did it for fun, and then I started tricking people into paying me, and I was like, oh, this is way better than working. And so I just kind of followed through with that. But it was sort of kind of an aimless, the flow had directed me in whatever direction, and I'm naturally this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know that for sure.
Wrestling or this type of wrestling?
creating my own content.
Yes.
Being like, because I don't just do wrestling. That's not just what satisfies me. I love performing, and I have, like, believe me, if I don't go out there and have that crazy adrenaline rush, I'll find it in some other way, or like I'll need to exercise those demons out of me. I have to do that. But like being a part of what goes on here, the vibe, the flow, like the real heart of the business, you can feel the blood pumping through here. Like, I mean, when I came back, I got to finally get to be on shows with my brother, who is one of the most inspiring pro wrestlers you'll ever be around. We're talking one of the hardest working and smartest working guys. All these guys are, and they remind me of my past hunger, and I see mistakes that I've made in them, and I get a chance to like kind of help them not do as poor of a, not make the same mistakes that I have, but also by watching them, by seeing myself in these guys, I also, I see all the potential, and being on these shows is really special because I got to fall back in love with wrestling again. And that actually happened at a PWG show, but I wasn't sure I was even going to continue wrestling just because my foot's my foot's a mess. If you saw it, it looks like there's a golf ball growing out of my foot. It's really a wreck, but I can't not do it. I can't get away, and I mean, I still have so much to do, have so much to accomplish. It's my first year being in the Best of the Super Juniors at New Japan this year. And back in 90, when I got that tape from 94, that's what I wanted to do. So the kind of thing was I kind of got sent to WWE because everybody told me that was their dream and it should have been mine too. But I don't think it ever really was. I always saw myself as being a champion in Japan, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I'll tell you what, it feels incredible. And I know it's wrestling and being a champion is being a champion, but I'll tell you what, I earned that. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, that's a token of my work right there, and I'm proud to show it off.
Does it shake your confidence at all when you're in WWE? Because it seems like WWE uses guys like you as an attraction. Like the way they say, we've got the guy who can do amazing flips off the rope, we've got the world's strongest man, we've got these hot twins, and then here's your main event. And it's like, when you're an attraction, that's what you'll be, and that's your spot, and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, I feel like that's kind of, Neville's kind of taken over that spot now, whereas we both know before Neville was in WWE, he was doing kind of what you're doing in the sense that he was, if not in the main event, one of the names on the top of the bill. So,
like, for example, Neville, like, when I was there at the debut of that NXT pay-per-view, whatever that one was, he was in the main event probably. I'm terrible at this, but I know he was the match, right?
Right.
And they were like, I know this is a big deal, blah, blah, blah. And he's just sitting there, he's cool and collected. He's done 10,000 10 times, you know what I mean? It's just, he's just going out there and having another match, and it's a big deal for WWE because NXT is hot, it's on fire, it's growing, they're heavily invested in it. But the guys they're using are naturals. The guys they're using are pros. They're not going to get nervous under these conditions. This is just. I mean, it's a piece of cake for them. As far as being an attraction, like, I don't think that's a bad thing because that's the way wrestling works. There's only so much room for the guys on top. The way wrestling really works is wrestling's always been a traditional family business. Mm-hmm. As no matter how big or small it gets, the main storylines are always going to be family driven, and that's why so many indies pop up, because people want it to be their story. So if you want to tell your story and you want to be in control of it, you have to be somewhere where you can take the reins. And at WWE, you kind of acquiesce the power to the top, and they put on great shows. They're like a great record label, and they put out a lot of great records. But in the end, it's all going through one producer, essentially. So all the sounds, they all have to come through the same producer, regardless of if the producer's trying to make the sounds for different people. It's not like the self-created art that you experience at Ring of Honor or New Japan. We're talking guys who are going out there and making mistakes and taking risks, but they're not being second-guessed. And the magic that happens, I mean, Kyle O'Reilly and Kushida, did you see that?
Yes.
What? Now, you can't, these matches, that's the point is you can't plan it, you can't organize it, you can't tell the guy in the booth, we're going to be over here at this point, you can just hope they get it. In Japan, the camera guys, in WWE, they pay for their own camera guys, they pay for their own whole crew, and we do that in the US. In Japan, it's just the same crew that shoots the baseball game.
Really?
They come in and they shoot the wrestling, they're not in on one iota of it, and they don't want to be.
So it's just like a building crew.
Yeah, like a local crew. Like in Osaka, we have the Osaka TV show. In Tokyo, we have the Tokyo ones. The Osaka guys shoot differently than the Tokyo crew, but it's happened to us a number of times where, me and Ricochet are going left and right and nobody can keep up. And so we both go do something and the cameras missed us both because they thought we were going one way. So the effect we were trying to have on the audience, we actually got the camera guys too. Yeah. But it's very interesting being out there with them, and they you're on the floor and they don't know to get out of the way. Like somebody's running down trying to kick somebody and there's like 7 camera guys in the way. It's just, it's different. And the thing with wrestling is there's no right way or wrong way to do it.
Right.
It's a gigantic pie, and people like different things. I love all of it. Like I said, I got hooked on death matches.
Right.
On watching guys slice each other ear to ear and just bleed all.
Thrown in the pit of piranhas.
This is just who I was as a kid. I needed that in my life. Like, I needed that blurred reality line. I mean, we get it all and now in reality shows. Wrestling was like the straight up original reality show, OG, real people going out there doing a produced live event in front of you, and with just the same like terror of every reality show if something crazy is going to happen. And it's a pioneer in the entertainment form, man. And I like anybody who's never seen wrestling live has just got to come out and
totally
see it. And especially if you see it on like the same way you see your favorite bands, man. They might sound really good in the arena or at the amphitheater, but man, do they sound good in that intimate venue. And this is the most world-class stuff you're ever going to see in a rinky-dink building. I mean, like, you're getting world-class brought to your door here. Like, Ring of Honor fans are so spoiled. We get these New Japan guys. I mean, they are absolutely top legends. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I'm rambling on, but I've got a huge match tonight against Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's a guy on these tapes when he was a young boy that I was watching.
Yes.
I mean, he's a little bit older than me in this business, but he is in his prime, and he's a guy, he's a high flyer, but he's a massive man because all wrestlers are incredible athletes. I mean, I can't figure out if I'm here to promote everybody else or myself, Sam, because I mean, you already mentioned that I follow you on Instagram, but can I please say my Instagram thing? It's
say everything.
It's at Matt Sydal, MATTSYDAL. Please follow me. I love interacting with everybody on Instagram. That's like my favorite form of social media.
You love it.
You know, I just really enjoy the simplicity.
Yeah,
the
post a photo, da-da-da.
We can do it, like, we can make, but I try and keep my dates up there of where I'm going, what I'm doing. I mean, I'm taking off for Japan on Wednesday. Like I said, I'm hustling, but it's a good grind, and I'm loving it. But it's a way for people to keep up with the shows and everything.
What do you tell a guy like Ricochet who, he's one of the handful of guys around the world right now that people go, okay, who's next to NXT? Who's next to WWE? Ricochet's name always comes up. Do you tell him, like, dude, do everything you can here and, like, create yourself, or do you tell him...
Okay, well, so here's the problem. I am extremely biased in this case. Ricochet is the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion with me.
Right.
Now, if I'd have known we were doing this interview a little bit longer ago, I'd have had the belt over my shoulder the entire time because I wear that with pride, okay?
Right.
So Ricochet's my partner, so what the hell I want him to go to NXT?
Right.
Oh, he's incredible, and he'll kill it there.
Yeah.
He'll become a famous wrestling star there. If he stays with Lucha Underground, he'll become a super famous wrestling star there. If he stays with New Japan and Ring of Honor or does whatever he wants, by the time it's all said and done, he's going to go down. It's going to be like within the Rey Mysterio echelon of humans to ever step in this ring. He's that good. I mean, he and I both came from the Dragon Gate pedigree, where you learn how to be absolutely insane in the ring. I mean, like, how to be insane every single night. Like, there's so many similarities, so I want him to have that opportunity to work with the guys at WWE because there's so many geniuses and brilliant minds.
Yeah.
But what he does right now is genius and brilliant, and the stuff he's doing at Lucha Underground is incredible and groundbreaking and new, and I don't know how the hell he can decide. I don't know how he'll ever decide because there's not one company on earth that wouldn't mortgage their company to get him to sign.
But he's going to succeed wherever he's at, so he might as well succeed as your tag team partner, is what you're saying. Yeah.
I think we've got a long life ahead of us. I like to think what Ricochet's doing now, I think we'll be tagging for at least another year or two before anything changes. After that, I mean, I don't like doing anything for more than a year or two.
Yeah.
Nothing's permanent. And even if Ricochet goes to WWE, he'll come back in a couple years. I mean, like, when I left, like, I'm telling you, I didn't see Mark or Jay Briscoe for probably 6 years. I came back, I saw them, it was like we picked off just where we left off. I mean, there's incredible guys in this business.
Yeah.
And for the wrestlers, we're just lucky to have foundations that let us come together and hang out on the weekends. Whether it's PWG, Ring of Honor, New Japan, WWE, NXT, it's just the boys getting together and kicking it, and that's what's creating the good content, is the network of the guys here committed to a universal product that we're putting out there. Because the guys, everybody from everywhere has wrestled each other.
Sure.
There's because of technology, the price of travel, we are all connected well, and the promotions work well together now too. Back in the day, you couldn't even work the GCW and MRW. the local feds at 10 miles apart were feuding with each other rather than helping each other. Well, now in England, you've got all these hot federations. We're talking York Hall sells out in this middle of London, this beautiful building, 2,000 people, sold out, crazy fans. Well, they're working with the promotion down in Portsmouth that draws a couple thousand, and they're working with the company up north that draws a couple thousand. And people are realizing that the more we work together, the better this product's going to be, because we're all selling music, but we just all have different songs and dances.
Yeah.
And so, I want everybody's song and dance to get out there. I just wish more people could get eyes on what I enjoy. And that's why I was happy to get this chance to talk to you, because I want people to check out all my stuff, which I enjoy, or it actually terrorizes me when I watch it. But I hope they enjoy it. And you gotta love my friends wrestling, because they're incredible. All these guys at Ring of Honor. I mean, if you haven't seen Jay Lethal or Jay Briscoe, my God.
Is there anybody who you worked with in WWE that you really want to have a chance to work with in this scenario?
Well, I'd say the guy, no, because everybody acts like we had handcuffs in WWE, but that's just malarkey. You're only held down by yourself. I mean, and that's the reality of the situation. You're yourself, and eventually, like what the piece of paper says. But no matter what the piece of paper says, you're in control of everything except for one little piece. I mean, so who would I like to wrestle? I mentioned him earlier, Claudio Cesaro.
Yeah.
When I got hurt, he got hired. I got fired. He was here, and we crossed paths. He was one of my last matches before I went to WWE, and I want just to have that match. I don't care where it happens. I don't care if it happens in somebody's back in the Young Bucks' backyard.
Right.
As long as I get to wrestle him one more time, I'm gonna be a happy camper. And that's just for the good of all. Para el bien de todos. That's for the good of the world. For the wrestling gods, just want that to happen. These are the things that need to happen. Like these matches. I mean, as all my friends get better, as we all get better, we've been tearing up this group of guys that runs wrestling right now. We've been tearing it up since 2003, 4, 5, 6. I mean, so that we're putting 10 years on everything, continuing to work hard, continuing to rip it up together against each other. Now you're getting the fruit of the labors are coming out, and we're happy to show it. We want everybody to know we're knocking down the door. We're getting the word out there, and I mean, the culture of wrestling is able to interact with the culture of humanity today. You know what I mean? People don't need to be in the wrestling closet anymore. You don't need to work. And anybody who has the knee-jerk, it's fake reaction, there's some hilarious insecurity in them that is they can't, they're stuck in that place where they don't know the reality from absurdity, and they can't, to think that you can assign words and descriptions to everything. Right. This is a visual art. We have poetry when words fail. If you want to express, this is just, it's theater for guys. When we want to express ourselves, when we go out there, that's what we do. That's why there aren't words the whole time. That's why it's not a play. Right. There's not words for it.
Right.
Wrestling is the ineffable. And there's this ethereal feeling in this building tonight that you can feel building within. And actually, I can feel myself getting really nervous for this match. So, Sam, I'm going to say thank you so much.
I love how excited you are.
I got my Instagram plug in.
Yes, you did. I love that that's also the most...
What else can we do, man?
I mean, look, you're still excited about wrestling. You got your Instagram plug in. I mean, this is it. You're doing it. You're living the dream, dude.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
It's a beautiful
Every
thing.
day's a dream.
Well, thanks for hanging out, man.
Thank you. Love it.
Appreciate it. Hey, it's Sam Roberts. I hope you enjoyed that wrestling interview from Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. You can go to notsam.com to subscribe to that podcast. But I upload videos like that on this YouTube channel all the time. So if you don't already subscribe now. It's on the side of the page. I made it real easy. Click the button. Subscribe to the page. Subscribe to the page.